This is QB Unfiltered. I'm Coach Keith Simons. It's Workday Wednesday, constructing the quarterback. Today, preparing your eventual starting QB. Tougher coaching, and this is another mental thing. Tougher coaching. As soon as you go into high school, and particularly when you go from high school to college, the coaching is tougher. Okay, if you go play for a really good quarterback coach, or quarterback coach / offensive coordinator, or a quarterback coach / offensive coordinator who's also the head coach, those guys are tough on their QBs. That expectation level is up here, and they coach their quarterbacks to play up to that expectation level. And there are guys that can't handle that. That's a new approach to being coached, to where in high school they may be coddled, roll the ball out and do what you do, make a play. And you get into a disciplined offense now where the quarterback has to do things right every snap, and you're not used to that stuff. That takes a while to get accustomed to that, to not go in the tank when your coach puts his foot up your ass for continually making the same stupid mistakes, or for playing selfish, or for predetermining reads in your passing game before the ball snapped, or not being able to tell you why your quarterback comes off the field and he can't tell you why he threw into that coverage because he has no idea what the coverage was. Those are all situations where good quarterback coaches tend to stick their foot up their tailpipe a little bit. And if you can't handle that, that's an issue. That's a problem. And being able to handle that comes with maturity. True freshmen in college usually don't have that maturity level. Freshmen and sophomores in high school don't have that maturity level. More scrutiny. Okay, you move up in ranks, and you're going to get more scrutiny. Quarterbacks get critiqued harder than any other position on the football team, and they get way more credit when things go good, and they get way too much blame when things don't go good. But that's the nature of the position. But the further up the chain you move, the further, the higher level that you play as a quarterback, that scrutiny becomes more and more and more. And it's not just from the fans. It's also from the media. It's also from this, I call it bullshit social media gurus that know a hell of a lot more than you do as a quarterback. And they're going to let you know, as they're sitting in their easy chair, eating a slice of pizza with pizza sauce on their tank top. They're going to let you know in their comments how you should have played in this last game, and why you should have been throwing to Joe Smith more than you threw to Frank Johnson. So the scrutiny level is also something that these guys have to be able to grow into, and they're not ready when they first come into high school or first come into college. Their maturity level. Now, I use myself as an example on a lot of these and how I think about incoming quarterbacks and age groups, high school quarterbacks, junior college quarterbacks, QBs in college as freshmen. I use myself as an example. My maturity level when I was in high school and my first couple of years in college was, I wasn't very mature. Okay. And I did a lot of dumb shit stuff, and I made a lot of dumb shit decisions. And it just worked out to where the more mature and older I got smarter and made better decisions. And the decisions I made off the field were also good decisions on the field. They work hand in hand. But I was a hell of a lot more mature and smarter as a senior in college than I was as a freshman in college. Just like I was smarter and more mature as a senior in high school than I was a sophomore in high school. It's just the way it works, okay? Other reasons why quarterbacks can't play as freshmen in college or freshmen, sophomores in high school: the speed of the game. Defenses are way faster. DBs are way faster. Your receiver is open at the top of his stem, and that window closes like that with DBs coming downhill. Your decision making's a little slow. You get the ball out of your hand a little late. And now those easy completions you used to have are now balls that are knocked down or they're picked. The speed of the defensive line and the pass rush is faster and more violent. You're getting hit harder. Okay? QBs get hit. And I'm not just talking about the obvious sacks that you see or times where quarterbacks will break pocket and run and get tackled in the open field. I'm talking about the high number of times during a game where a quarterback gets the ball off and then gets popped. And he may not get knocked off his feet, but he's getting hit. And that happens almost every time these guys drop back to throw. They're taking hits. Okay. And so the speed of the game, the violence of the game, some of these guys just aren't ready to play at a younger age. Okay. And then the speed of the receivers. So any quarterback that came to play for me at Santa Rosa Junior College, we also had big time receivers. And we recruited big time receivers, and we had some dudes that could fly. And so in high school, you've got, my quarterbacks that are throwing to one guy that runs 4.6, one guy that runs 4.5 or 4.6, and the other guys are running 4.8. And now this guy gets to Santa Rosa Junior College, and we ran a 4-receiver offense, and all 4 of those guys are running 4.4 and 4.5 consistently. And that's a big, big difference. So the speed of the receivers. Okay, another reason why young quarterbacks aren't ready to play right away: time commitment. Now think about this: the time commitment. Let's just speak about a high school senior going in now as a true freshman in college. Time commitment, class schedule. Okay, not only the class schedule, but tougher classes, tougher professors. That's a whole new world for these guys. All right. So not only do they have to navigate the trials and tribulations of playing quarterback now at the college level, they also have to navigate going to class, taking tougher classes, and being able to survive and excel in a college setting. Totally, totally different than high school. Takes a while to get used to that stuff. Weight training program. Okay, you're now going to be asked to lift during the season. After practices, you're going to be asked to be at early morning workouts. You're going to have a strength coach most of those guys are psychos. Okay, you're going to have a guy in your ear yelling at you, trying to motivate you, and giving you forearms and getting you going and jacking you across the face maybe a little bit and trying to get your blood pumping. That's all different stuff. And you're going to have that. Position meetings. Okay. High school guys usually don't have position meetings. In college, you have position meetings. And you're going to be watching a whole bunch of film, and you're going to be taking notes, and you're going to be making your own playbook up, and you're going to have to answer questions that the coach is firing out at you. Okay, position meetings. And then you've got practice. And obviously now, this is the one thing that amazed me. I will never forget when I heard this. And this goes back again to me being a really immature, dumb shit when I was going into college. So when I was a senior in high school, I was all state first team. I was the offensive player of the year in the state of Washington for high schools. All right. I was an All American, and I signed a full scholarship to go play in what used to be the Pac 12, sadly no more, or the Pac 10, or way back when I played in 77. It was the Pac 8, but I signed a full scholarship to go play at Oregon State. Right. Now, I went into Oregon State and I was clueless. I was Ryan Byrne. You know, the first time that I had to write up coverages, draw up coverages on a piece of paper, I almost lost my mind. You know, but so this is the statement and the point I'm trying to make. I actually, in my immature, clueless brain, made this statement to. It was either the quarterback coach. It was one of the coaches at Oregon State. I'm a true freshman. And I was frustrated because I wasn't the big dog anymore. And I said something stupid to this coach like, God, I was all state and the state player of the year. And he looked at me and he goes, hey, Simons, everybody else on this team was all state and their state's player of the year. So pull your head out. I never forgot that. And that's quite a wake-up call to some of these guys. You know, they're coming in now and competing against other guys that are just as good as them. And they're practicing now against guys that are just as good as them. The speed in which they're practicing is more intense than what they're used to. The defenses that they're going against are way faster and more physical than what they're used to. The receivers are way faster than what they're used to. They're using different footballs than what they used in high school. Okay. And in college, the big difference in college, like at the D1 level, like at Oregon State, those coaches weren't there to be your buddy and positive and all that stuff. Their jobs were on the line every day that they went out to practice, and every game that Oregon State played, they were in your dish if you didn't do stuff right. And it didn't matter whether you were an incoming freshman like I was, or you were a fifth-year senior. You know, it was get it done, or there's going to be problems. And that's, as a true freshman, that's really hard to handle when you're used to being the man, you know, the man. So, and then after practice, you've got treatment, and you're required to get your butt in the training room if you're banged up and hurt to get treatment. And then after all of that, you're going to class, you're lifting weights, you're going to position meetings, you're going to practice, then you're going to treatment. After all of that, then you have to go to study hall. Mandatory. That's a full day. Okay. As a true freshman, that's really hard to handle. Now, obviously, you don't have all of that stuff as a young guy in high school, but you still have class, you still have weights, you still have, I know at the high schools I was at, we had position meetings, you know, you had practice. And if you were hurt, it wasn't mandatory, but your ass better be getting some treatment somewhere, somehow. We didn't have study hall, but it's still, that's a lot of stuff. That's a full day. And in high school, if you put a GoPro on a senior high school quarterback, a GoPro right on his forehead, and have him walk around from the beginning of the morning at school and all the things that he has to do all the way up until practice, and you put the same GoPro on a freshman or a sophomore in high school, it's going to be a different picture. You know, there's going to be some confidence and some swagger and some know-how by that senior. That young quarterback that's trying to make his way through that high school setting on that daily basis is going to be a little saucer-eyed. Those guys aren't ready to step in. They may think they are, but they're not. Their parents may tell them they're ready, but they're not. Proper planning by you as a coach will go miles in how your starting quarterback plays for you on game day or game night. Okay, this has been Constructing the Quarterback, QB Unfiltered. And remember, always throw the ball short to guys who can score. See ya.